Watch 1226 on your side, wherever you go.
Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, First at 5.
It's just over a year since Tiger Woods nearly lost his leg in this car accident. His SUV flipping while he was driving in Southern California.
Tiger Woods, the Masters champ, starting a slow return to the golf world, and today we're learning Woods is on the entry list for the Masters, which comes up in just a couple of weeks, a little less, really.
Right, and this means he could be competing this year, which would make the first full-scale Masters tournament since the start of the pandemic even more sweet. Woods has won 5 Masters tournaments in all, most recently in 2019, and he was just inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame earlier this month.
Tiger first returned to competitive golf after that accident back in December. You saw the crash there a second ago when he competed with his son in the PNC Championship. The entry list does not mean for sure that Woods will compete in the Masters here, but it does mean there's a chance, and we're all eagerly waiting to learn more about that.
Yeah, well, like the chance. That sounds good. Now, players still have the opportunity to notify Augusta National if they won't be competing, but you know, we didn't know for sure until now, and at least there's hope.
That's right. At least there's hope. He can always back out at the last minute,
hey,
but it's always good.
Is all of us.
The golf world is all of us today, and so are we. It would be great to have Tiger in Augusta either way, wearing that green jacket that he's earned so many times. Let's check in now with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. Riley, sort of a calm, cloudy day after a stormy week before.
Absolutely, Richard. Definitely hanging on to some cooler temps thanks to all those clouds out there for this afternoon, and will likely hold steady with that cloud cover into the first part of this evening. Most of us are below average today, only making it our way into the mid to low 60s. We actually hit our high temperature today just after midnight last night, so temperatures have actually cooled off a little bit since this morning. Doppler Max radar does show a few very light showers across Barnwell, Allendale, Screven County as well. We are dry right now in Augusta, but if you look off towards our south and west, this is the last little bit of a low-level trough that is stirring up some showers west of I-75. Some of those showers could impact areas mainly south of I-20 as we head closer towards around sunset. As we head into the overnight, gradually seeing that cloud cover move off towards the east, that will allow our temperatures to drop down into the 40s by tomorrow morning. So a little bit of a cool start for our Friday. And then we're talking about some very breezy conditions the next few afternoons. Have a look at how breezy we're expected to get in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Riley. A plan to give South Carolina families state dollars to send their children to private schools is now up for debate at the State House.
Education scholarship accounts would be similar to a school voucher program that some other states already offer. State House reporter Mary Green was there for the second day of this debate. She's joining us live in Columbia.
Mary, how much would families actually receive? Well, families would get $6,000 per student with an ESA or an education scholarship account. Now, this dollar figure would be adjusted yearly based on the amount of money allocated in the state budget per pupil in the overall education spending. Now, supporters of these ESAs argue this is good use of state money, providing access to a better education for more of South Carolina's children. But as this debate in the Senate stretches into another week, it's clear that not everyone agrees.
It focuses on children who do not have the educational opportunities that so many other children have. This bill is targeted to poor kids and children with special education needs.
While many more kids could qualify for an education scholarship account by being Medicaid eligible or having an IEP, the program would eventually be capped at a 15,000 student maximum.
Some of the boogeyman stuff that you're going to hear is that all the children are going to flee the public school system and it's going to bankrupt them. If you look at what's going on around other parts of the country, that's just not at all the case.
Families would be able to use the money on school tuition, along with other allowable expenses, including books, fees, and transportation. Democratic Senator Mike Fanning, who stood at the lectern for all of Thursday's debate, argues this would provide the illusion of choice without real choice.
If the tuition is $20,000 and the Medicaid-eligible poor kid gets a $6,000 voucher, the only way they can go, now unless there's some goodwill and people are throwing money around, the only way they can go is if the family can make up the difference.
The bill's funding source was also changed so that it wouldn't take money out of public schools, which had been a non-starter for teacher advocacy groups.
The school districts are not going to lose any money.
But some senators still contend the around $100 million that could be distributed at maximum participation would be better spent on public schools themselves.
They could reduce class sizes. They could offer more opportunities for the students that they currently have, add to the program offerings they do.
And debate on this bill will continue in the Senate next week, Tuesday. Reporting from the South Carolina State House, Mary Green, on your side.
Mary, thanks a lot for that. A similar education scholarship account bill is awaiting debate in the House of Representatives as well. We'll keep tracking that for you. Georgia lawmakers inviting retired teachers back to the classroom as part of an effort to fill a teacher shortage. The state Senate approving a measure that lets teachers with 30 years of service teach again after at least 12 months of retirement. They would be able to work full-time while getting state pensions.
Coming up in just a little more than an hour, a balloon release in honor of the life of a 7-month-old baby girl killed in a dog attack 2 days ago. Family members and loved ones are gathering tonight at 6:30. They say baby Serenity Garnett was a beautiful light in this world, and they want people to remember her not because of her death, but because of her smile.
With regards to that case, the sheriff's office telling us charges could be coming, but they did not tell us exactly who might be charged and with what. And attorneys say it's not unheard of to see criminal cases for dog attacks, though this type of alleged crime is not something that comes across their desk very often. They say when it comes to the owners, charges could be likely dependent on the dog's history. And coming up here on News 12 at 6 o'clock, a follow-up on what comes next in a case like this. Meanwhile, the owner of 3 dogs facing charges after those dogs attacked and severely injured a South Carolina woman. The owner charged with multiple counts of owning a dangerous animal. He's also charged with a rabies control violation. Just today, a judge set bond at $15,000. All this happening in Abbeville County. Excuse me, the victim was airlifted to a hospital and is undergoing extensive surgery.
A Charleston state lawmaker is investigating the rental car industry after he got a bill for more than $20,000 from a rental company. When he did not hear back from the company, Budget Avis, Representative Wendell Gilliard contacted the Charleston airport to investigate. A report from airport police says they think an employee took the car without logging it back in. Last month, 2 men were arrested in connection with this crime. Now Gilliard says he's looking into ways to hold car rentals accountable and take the pressure off the customer.
2 Atlanta delivery men shot by the same person on the same day, and now they're suing Amazon. We break it down ahead. First at 5.
And we are expecting some breezy afternoons all the way into the weekend. Maybe able enough to knock down some objects that you have laying around outside. Update on the forecast just after the break.
A line of strong storms moving through South Carolina. The damage you're looking at here is Pickens County. You can see several homes heavily damaged by those storms.
Tornado warnings were in effect in the area before the storms hit. Large sections of trees were knocked down. You can see also extensive damage to some houses and even cars, too.
Crews were back in that area today working to restore power knocked out by the storms, and that's going to take a little while to get everybody back online. But the National Weather Service crews, they've been out surveying the damage today to see if this was a tornado or maybe straight line winds. No matter how you define it, these folks know it was something serious when it hit.
It was, and I mean, you hear about tornadoes, and of course, those are scary, but straight line winds sometimes can do just as much damage
sure.
as a tornado. And Riley, when we had the threat of storms yesterday, thank goodness, nothing really caused us too many problems, because this same storm system sure caused a lot of problems all basically up and down the East Coast.
Absolutely. It brought a wide range of severe risks all across to the eastern side of the Mississippi River, and all driven by this big upper level trough. A lot of rough weather out there the past few days from this system, and that trough has not completely made it eastward just yet. You can see all this rising air on the eastern side of it, creating all that cloud cover we have this afternoon. And this is actually what we call a short wave. You can kind of see this counterclockwise spin rotating around that trough. So that's actually catching up to where there is a low level front that's actually producing the potential maybe for some showers in some of our counties into this evening. But there you go, a very amplified trough, so this is what's going to bring that cooler air with it the next few days, and also a series of cold fronts that's going to create a very tight pressure gradient, and that's actually going to provide very gusty conditions over the next several afternoons. Current look at radar, this will be our next front that moves through Friday. Not expecting much rain with that frontal passage tomorrow, and even our rain chances for the rest of this evening and tonight look fairly isolated to barely scattered across most of the area. So mainly south of I-20, can't rule out maybe a shower for some of those communities, but for us here in Augusta, rain chances looking relatively low outside of maybe just a quick light shower that passes by within the next couple of hours. Our next front starts to show up on Friday and into tomorrow afternoon. As this front approaches the region, our winds will be picking up, most likely sustained 12 to 18 miles an hour, gusts up to 25, and then another dry front starts to move through on Saturday. That's going to provide us even gustier conditions Saturday afternoon. Lake wind advisories do look very likely for Saturday, so just a heads up if you do have any lake plans for the weekend. Day planner tomorrow looking nice. We should wake up to some sunshine, but as that front shows up into the afternoon, cloud cover will start to increase across the area. Temperature-wise, not feeling too bad. We should be able to actually hit close to 70 for us here in Augusta. Remember, it will be very gusty tomorrow, though. Those winds will really start to pick up anytime after lunchtime. Into the afternoon, winds sustained 12 to 18 miles an hour, and those gusts will be up to 25 as well. Our weekend will stay breezy, at least through our Saturday. Winds a little bit calmer by Sunday, but notice our temperatures a little bit below average, staying into the upper 60s both afternoons for the weekend. Our wind forecast on Saturday, you can see those winds just a little bit gustier out there. Will be between 5 to 10, up to around 10 to 15 around lunchtime, and then 15 to 20 mile per hour sustained winds Saturday afternoon. That's with gusts possibly up to and over 30 miles an hour. So a heads up, don't set up any tents, bouncy houses, anything like that on Saturday. Very dangerous with those type of winds, even though we will see abundant sunshine. A cold start early Sunday and Monday morning down to the upper 30s. Don't put away those coats just yet.
All right, Riley, sounds good. Thanks. Amazon facing a $350 million lawsuit after two different Atlanta delivery drivers got shot by the same person.
As Jamie Kennedy reports, one of the drivers says he is so glad to be alive after someone shot him in the spine where that bullet is still lodged.
It's been tough, but, I just got to keep working forward, keep moving forward.
Lawyer Denson says he's so glad to be alive after someone shot him in the spine where the bullet is still lodged.
Life is definitely different.
He's not the only Amazon driver to be mistaken for a burglar by the same homeowner on the same night.
Shoot me 5 times, not 1 time, 5 times.
Eduardo Gutierrez was shot 5 minutes before lawyer Denson, according to the men's lawyers. In the police warrant, it says Keontae Guthridge thought the two delivery drivers were at his house to rob him. It stated Guthridge said he already had packages delivered to his house that day and had also been robbed 2 weeks prior. Guthridge is in jail and his family says he shouldn't be there for protecting his family.
It's heartbreaking because he has a 9-month-old out on the street, his wife, and it's like now they're put in a tough situation.
Lawyers for the two delivery drivers now suing Amazon for $350 million, arguing the drivers did not receive safety visibility vests, which could have changed the outcome.
Amazon cared about him and his family like they care about profits. We wouldn't be here.
Amazon has known for a while that they need to protect their drivers, and they just have not done so.
The men were Amazon Flex drivers, and on the Amazon website it says vests and window clings are available to drivers, but a uniform is not required.
Breaking news just coming into our newsroom, a 2-arrest report in the murder of a man found dead in his driveway. There are 4 suspects total in Alan Newsom's death.
Yes, and we are just learning of this as we speak. Tazea Dukes and Ortegas Jones, both 17, charged with murder. The sheriff's office is still searching for the 2 men on the right side of your screen. Brenton Coleman and Carlos Figueroa will be charged with murder once they are caught, deputies tell us. Alan Newsom was found shot to death in the road last Friday.
And more breaking news to pass along. The body of a missing Thompson man found in Columbia County. Contavious Rivers' body actually found last Friday in Appling. He'd been missing for several weeks or months. I'm not sure which that is, but the Columbia County Sheriff's Office and the GBI were finally able to identify him. We're not sure yet what happened to Rivers, but police do suspect foul play in that case.
There are used cars and then there are certified pre-owned vehicles. In a competitive market for used cars, is the larger price tag worth some extra peace of mind? We take a look after the break.
The Live Bike Camera.
Certified pre-owned vehicles are popular right now, with sales expected to break records this year.
But is that certification worth the extra cost? And are the inspections all they claim to be? In this week's Consumer Crackdown, National Investigator Sandra Jones explains what you need to look for.
Used vehicles are in high demand right now, and dealers are pushing to sell them for top dollar. Certified pre-owned vehicles can be pricey, with some averaging around $1,600 more than the cost of used vehicles. That's according to Jessica Caldwell with Edmunds, a car research and shopping website.
These are generally newer vehicles with lower miles compared to your standard used vehicle, so the quality is going to be a bit higher.
Used vehicles get the certified pre-owned label after a dealer or manufacturer puts it through an extensive inspection process. This guarantees the vehicle is running properly and it comes with warranty. Cox Automotive says certified pre-owned sales topped 2.7 million in 2021 and are forecast to break 3 million this year. But Maryland-based consumer attorney Daniel Whitney Jr. says, in his experience, certified pre-owned doesn't always mean top of the line.
We as a society have been conditioned by manufacturers to think that a certified pre-owned car is going to be of significantly better quality than just a regular used car.
Whitney's sued several car dealerships for selling certified pre-owned vehicles with a history of performance issues, despite having clean inspections.
They might say something like no rear end damage, no structural damage. Well, come to find out, that damage actually exists on the car. So what we have then is either a negligent inspection, or perhaps that box was checked even knowing that there was a problem.
Which is why Caldwell says you have to be cautious and know what you're buying.
There's so many resources out there for you now to check prices, so I think you need to look at the mileage driven, the condition of the used vehicle, and look at what current market conditions are.
So before you buy a certified pre-owned vehicle, experts suggest you demand to see the vehicle's title, get a car history report from the dealer, have a mechanic inspect it, and make sure you can get a refund on your deposit. With this Consumer Crackdown, I'm Sandra Jones.
If you think a car dealer is breaking the rules, file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission or contact your state attorney general's office or consumer protection office.
Grant me hope.
There was a sound in the breeze, a song from the trees that whispered through the night. Just an ordinary place, but I held you just in case we travel to the end of time. And I know that I love you. I hear you singing in my mind.
My name's Eric. I'm from
The Call.
All right, take a look at our Grovetown cam. Still fairly cloudy across most of the metro. We are going to hang on to that cloud cover through most of this evening and actually can't rule out maybe even an isolated shower across some of our counties. We are currently at 65 and temperatures will remain cooler than average as we roll into the weekend. Big weather story really the next couple of days is the wind. It's going to be very breezy for our Friday afternoon and even gustier into our Saturday. Winds do calm down by Sunday and looking like plenty of sun the next several days. Stick with us. We're at much more news and weather just after a very short break on First.